Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Digital Classroom. I am your host, Socheta, and we have reached a milestone today. It is episode 35. I can hardly believe how far we have come together.
It really is quite an achievement, Socheta. And I am honored to be sharing the studio with you again to tackle a topic that is becoming more critical with every passing school year.
Absolutely, Mr. Saroon. Today, we are peeling back the curtain on student data privacy and digital learning tools. It is something we use every day, but how often do we actually stop to think about what is happening behind the screen?
Not often enough, I fear. We see the convenience, the colorful interfaces, and the gamified rewards, but we rarely see the massive flow of data moving from our classrooms to servers all around the world.
It is a bit scary when you put it that way. Just last week, I was helping my younger cousin set up an account for a new math app, and the list of permissions it asked for was, well, it was exhausting to read. Location, contacts, camera access for a math game?
That is a classic example of what we call data over-collection. Many developers follow the grab everything now, figure out what to do with it later philosophy, which is incredibly dangerous when it involves minors.
So, for our listeners who might be new to this, what exactly are we talking about when we say student data? Is it just names and grades?
I wish it were that simple. It's names and grades, yes, but it's also behavioral data. How long a student lingers on a specific question, their typing speed, their search history within the tool, and even their physical location via IP addresses.
Their typing speed? Why would an educational tool need to know how fast a child types, unless it's a typing tutor?
It can be used for biometric profiling. Every person has a unique rhythm of typing. If a company collects enough of that metadata, they can identify a student across different platforms even if they don't use their real name. It's like a digital fingerprint.
That feels so invasive. These are children we are talking about. They do not have the capacity to consent to being tracked in that way.
Exactly. And that is the heart of the ethical dilemma. When schools mandate the use of a specific tool, the student and the parent often have no choice. It's use this app or fail the assignment. That is not meaningful consent.
I never thought about the mandatory aspect of it. If I use a social media app, I am choosing to trade my data for the service. But a student in a classroom doesn't have that luxury.
Nodding, you hit the nail on the head. That is why the burden of protection must fall on the institutions and the tech providers, not the children. We need robust frameworks like GDPR in Europe or COPPA in the US, but even those are constantly playing catch-up with technology.
Curiously, let's talk about the free apps. We always hear the saying, if you aren't paying for the product, you are the product. Does that apply to education too?
Often, yes. Free for teachers is a very effective marketing strategy, but those companies have to pay their developers and servers somehow. If there is no subscription fee, they might be selling anonymized data aggregates to advertisers or using it to train their own AI models.
It feels like a betrayal of the educational mission. Education should be a safe space for growth and mistakes, not a data mining operation.
It should be, but I don't want to sound entirely cynical. There are many companies doing it right, Socheta. There are developers who prioritize privacy by design, meaning they only collect the bare minimum and delete it as soon as it's no longer needed.
Helpfully, that is good to hear. How can a teacher or a parent tell the difference between a good app and a data-hungry one?
Instinctively reaches for a pen. It starts with the privacy policy. I know, everyone skips them because they're 50 pages of legalese, but you should look for specific keywords. No third-party advertising, data encryption, and right to deletion.
Right to deletion. I like the sound of that. It sounds like a superhero power for students.
In a way, it is. It means that when a student leaves a school or finishes a course, their digital footprint shouldn't have to follow them for the rest of their lives. A mistake made in a 5th grade essay shouldn't be accessible to a college admissions algorithm 10 years later.
Oh, I hadn't even considered the long-term impact. The idea of a permanent record used to be a joke, but now it's a literal database.
Gravely, precisely. If we track every struggle a student has, we risk pigeonholing them. We might decide a child isn't good at math because of data collected when they were 7, without giving them the space to evolve.
Resolutely. This makes me want to go through every app on my phone right now and check the settings. What can schools do better to protect our kids?
Authoritatively, schools need dedicated data privacy officers. It shouldn't be left to the IT guy who is already busy fixing printers. They need someone to vet every single piece of software before it enters the classroom.
Thoughtfully. And for the parents listening at home, what is their first step?
Warmly. Talk to your kids. Ask them what apps they are using. Ask them if they ever see ads that feel too personal. And don't be afraid to ask the teacher, has this tool been vetted for privacy?
Smiling. Empowerment through inquiry. I love that. It turns a scary topic into an actionable one.
Nodding in agreement. Exactly. Technology is a tool, and tools can be used to build or to surveil. We just have to make sure we stay the masters of the tools and not the other way around.
Softly. That is a powerful place to wrap up our discussion for today. Mr. Saroon, thank you for bringing your wisdom to the studio. You've definitely given me, and I'm sure our listeners, a lot to think about.
Graciously. It was my pleasure, Sucheta. Let's keep the conversation going. Our children's future privacy depends on it.
Brightly. You heard him, folks. Don't let the conversation end here. Check your settings, ask those questions, and stay curious. This has been episode 35 of The Digital Classroom. We will see you in the next one.
Warmly. Goodbye, everyone, and stay safe in the digital world.